Technically, combining chocolate and water could have very disastrous results. I'm Romeo, Filipino Chocolatier.
And I'm Leo, a viral DIY video producer, and today we are actually reacting to a viral chocolate video by So Yummy.
The challenging part about filming something like this, I don't know if this shape is gonna keep intact unless they have this room temperature control in terms of maintaining that really delicate shape.
How do you go from this to the springiness? How do you go to the springiness without actually having it just stay within that plane?
They probably had to do this several times because if you pull this, chocolate may or may not continue to hold its shape on here. Chocolate is very delicate in nature, and just how thin this is, you may or may not be able to always execute that perfectly.
From the video perspective, what this does is it mesmerizes you. It gives you this feeling of like, holy crap, that is so easy to do, and it brings you into it. It almost looks like you can shape it somewhat with a bowl by going around and then use that as how you actually shape the chocolate without having to lift it.
I think that's a little bit tricky because technically combining chocolate and water could have very disastrous results. Sometimes when you expose it to water, it may or may not cooperate with you after that. I think I might want to finesse a little bit more so it has a more kind of pleasing design. Part of these videos is that way the person who's doing this at a home kitchen could replicate it. But on here, what they're doing is they're using that hot chocolate and shocking it pretty much. That's essentially the technique that they're doing.
If I just took a cold water, hot chocolate, and I just tried it without any experience, what is the likelihood, or what is the most likely scenario with that combination?
Every single swirl is gonna look different. It's possible to recreate it. I'm just not sure if it's gonna be the most pleasing shape each time. It's all about the resourcefulness of people who are doing this from home. I've even seen in the Philippines that if they don't have molds, they'll use a banana leaf to create a round mold. And then they will stick a twig in it to hold that shape. And that's how they make their tablea rounds.
I would imagine that it would be very difficult to shape the chocolate on the ice to actually create crevices where you can eat from it. The way that they showed it, would you have been able to execute it if you copied it?
Yeah, quite possibly. I mean, depending on the shape of your ice, you can make this. I really do like the kind of organic nature of this and kind of like the different shape that the ice makes for this. I think it's really creative. I was kind of hoping they didn't wipe that down around the circle because I actually prefer the negative spaces. So if they left that dusting of cocoa around and then removed the center, I would have preferred that because I have a thing about dots and holes. It actually triggers my trypophobia a little bit. So I don't know if this is the design that I personally would do. I love using negative spaces instead.
And so how often do you use like everyday items to kind of create the decor?
In our chocolate shop, when we had the cafe, we would actually prefer to plate it because you eat with your eyes. You really want people to enjoy the chocolates too. But I think this is part of the fun, is being able to plate up your desserts. And I think you could still do a fine food presentation with the resources that you have. I actually think I'm more impressed when people are able to do this with whatever they got laying at home.
How do you go about finding new ideas of presenting your chocolates in new forms?
A lot of it's from our customers, from our guests. They really inspire me, and they have a vision or a nostalgia of how they've enjoyed chocolates, and I do my own take or twist on it too. It looks like a chocolate splash. So the way that it sits on there. At first, I thought they were making a Nickelodeon logo because it kind of looked like that.
Yeah. There's a lot that goes into creating these types of hacks. Is it possible for chocolate to maintain the shape the way you see it?
Is it possible? Yes. Is it easy? It depends. And a lot of it depends on your climate and what you have around. And so they had an environment that was able to hold that shape, that had the right temperature. So I think they did a really good job, but there's different factors that control whether or not you could execute that.
One of the things that we were talking about that we think the movement of chocolate can actually mimic the movement that we've seen with craft coffee or the coffee movement. And one of those discussions are Coffee is an everyday thing. You know, you wake up, you need coffee. Chocolate right now is in some way an indulgence. Videos like this kind of allow us to incorporate chocolate into many more ways that feel more accessible to us. I don't need to go, you know, to this fancy 5-star restaurant to see this like gourmet chocolate. What's your kind of take on these videos and even like the future of chocolate?
I think the future of chocolates is really bright and open. It doesn't always have to be at a fine chocolate shop, even though I would prefer that people come and visit us. I really want people to be empowered and really inspired that yes, you can do this at home. Yes, you can play around with chocolates and have these like really amazing results. But again, it's all about practice. So that way they can get used to some of these techniques, but also embrace the imperfect. So it may not come out as you anticipated, but sometimes you have some really cool creative ideas that emerge just from trying.
So we just saw a couple of chocolate hacks. What's your general thoughts of videos like this?
Overall, I think the intention hopefully is to inspire the home cook, to inspire the home chef to just be as resourceful as possible, use what they got at home to make really stunning desserts. I think it just will require a lot of practice for someone to get the same type of technique and the same type of results that's being shown in this video.
Nice. You all heard it here. Go out and support Philippine chocolate. Go out and support Filipino chocolatiers and Filipino small businesses. Thank you so much for
it's my pleasure,
reacting
Leo.
to this video with me, and we'll see you all next time.
Thanks, folks. We own a chocolate shop in beautiful downtown Long Beach, and so folks are looking to find us. We're at romeochocolates.com. We're featuring mostly European chocolates and also Latin American chocolates, but I'm excited to say that we're going to be launching Philippine Heritage chocolates very soon.